Okay, we're rolling.
Welcome back to the How to Podcast series. It's Dave with you. Hope you're doing well. Got a whole lot of podcast content this year. Wow, it's a lot going out. Every day, an episode of the How to Podcast series. Yeah. Now, this podcast episode's not gonna land really well with some people, and I'm okay with that. But I'm going to say some of the things that people are saying quietly behind the scenes. I'm going to say them out loud. And, we'll see where the feathers lie when we're done. But it's all around live podcasting. Now, if you're a fan of live podcasting, great. If you don't even know what live podcasting is, awesome. If you're contemplating, do I do live podcasting for my show, then this might be something for you to consider. Glad you're here. Is live podcasting what it's all promoted to be, or is it just a lot of feathers and not much chicken? On the How to Podcast series, here we go. Is live podcasting the next big thing in the world of podcasting? Or is it a bunch of nostalgia dressed up as a new technology? When you think about it, live podcasting feels like a throwback, a return to the early days of live radio and live television, back before we could record things on things like a VHS recorder, a TiVo, or a video recording machine of some sort, or live radio. I can remember when I was a kid loving music. I've been doing music for 45 plus years. I remember having my cassette recorder out to record the top 40 or top 10 and trying to get that song, just the one song that I love. And I would sit there and try to edit out all the commercials and just be ready to hit record and record the radio. And if you weren't there, you missed it. There was like special shows on a Thursday night. And if you didn't change your schedule to be there on a Thursday night, you didn't get a chance to watch them again. We didn't have what we have today. We didn't have Netflix. We didn't have the internet. We had none of that stuff. So if you weren't there, if you didn't change your plans and your favorite show was on a Tuesday at 9 p.m. and your family wanted to go somewhere or you were out doing something, you had to change your everything and get your butt home if you wanted to see your show. There was no technology that allowed you to capture the moment and watch later. You had to be there. It was live. And if you weren't there, you missed it. And on radio, what's radio? Now, radio is where you can kind of jump in midstream. Like it's a river. It's a river of content, music, commentary, morning show, the news, the weather, the sports, the traffic. And it's just this constant flow. And you kind of step into the river and then you step out. And they know it. The radio people know it. They don't know really who's listening exactly at any given time or where they're listening, because how do you measure that, right? So they talk in big terms about how big the area of the amount of people who live in the area where the radio station's available, and they say that's your audience. Well, not a lot of people listen to the radio anymore, so that's kind of a dumb number. So when I think about live video, like live television and live radio, it's something that our industry and our community and our culture has gone away from. And here comes podcasting, a medium that was designed to be appointment driven, meaning you can go listen to a podcast anytime you want, wherever you are, and you start at the beginning of the episode. Unlike radio, you start at the beginning, not midway. You kind of fumble your way into the content. Every time you press play, it starts at the beginning. Awesome. It's also not something that you have to show up to be a part of. And if you missed it, you're like, oh, I missed that. So are we going backwards in our quest to conquer live podcasting? Maybe. I'm not sure. And that's why I'm asking this more of questions than as statements of fact. I'm not coming here to tell you to not do live podcasting. There's people who listen to the show that do an amazing job at live podcasting. So don't stop. But for the new person coming in going, wait, I got to go live? Like, I've never done this before. I've never been on a mic. I've never talked to people. I've never done a live interview with somebody. What if I screw up? And then what about your guests? Oh yeah, we're going to be live in front of, 1,000 people. We're going to be on Facebook and LinkedIn, and we'll be over here and YouTube. And what? Like, if I say the wrong word, it's out there. You don't get that back. So is live all that it's cracked up to be? Again, I'm saying from my point of view as a consumer of podcast, right? As a consumer, think of it from this context. Put away your podcast hat for a second. As a consumer of podcasts, is live podcasting convenient for you? Yes or no? If you are a person who works at your computer, or you work on your own, or you have flexible hours, great. If you work retail, if you work overnights like me, I can't watch a 3 o'clock in the afternoon live stream. I'm usually sleeping because I have to go to work at night. So we have lives, we have families, and that's why all the technology replaced live viewing and live radio and live television, because it was not convenient. So they came up with tools to make it easy for us to capture something and watch it later or listen to it later. And I find that podcasting seems to be going the wrong direction. And I don't know if it's a great return on investment. Again, a lot of feathers, not much chicken. What I love about podcasting, again, going back to this, is it changed the whole dynamic completely right from the beginning. Podcasting empowered us as listeners to consume the content when we wanted to, not when it was available. There's no appointment listening required when you fall in love with podcasting. You could pause and go take a work call. You can replay your favorite part during a workout. You can binge 10 episodes on a road trip. Podcasting has always thrived, not because it was live, but because it was liberating. There was no constraints about having to be there or you missed it. So when people talk about live podcasting as the savior of podcasting, I have questions. Sure, it's fun to see podcasters trying real-time interaction again, like chat participation, live Q&As, and backstage excitement can build a loyal sub-community. But let's really be honest here. That community tends to be small and consistent, very dedicated, yes, but not wildly scalable. And that's the part that I get a little bit annoyed by when I hear podcast gurus tell you, you have to go live. It's a small nucleus of your community that shows up for your live events. They're pretty consistent. Yeah, they'll show up every week because they've made you a priority. That's good. They do love the chat. They do love jumping in and being part of it. But I don't see that group growing by any leaps and bounds. It's kind of the same people every time. And I was on a live recently, and there was like 2 people for a live podcast recording. And it was a great topic, a great host. Like these are like must-see, well-in-demand speakers together on a podcast, and there's like 2 people in the audience. Right? Like, is that really worth rescheduling your life as a podcaster to create content for a small nucleus? Again, a sub-community. It's not your main community because not everybody can attend. So it's like a sub-community of your overall group that follow your show. So is that really worth your time? Is it really worth our time as listeners? And why are we feeling sometimes judged for not being there? When it's like, well, we did this live and you didn't show up. Well, I have a life. The audience that shows up for live is usually the same few dozen loyal fans, maybe 20, 30 people. Great. But not a tidal wave of new listeners and new people showing up for these live events. There's a practical side here too. Life. Most of us have jobs, families, and responsibilities. Dropping everything at 3 p.m. on a Tuesday to watch somebody troubleshoot audio and vamp between tech hiccups and, oh, that's not working, and I bring that up on the screen, that doesn't work. Oh, I can't hear you. Like, really? That's what I want to drop all my to-do list to go and watch somebody fumble with technology? Podcasting carved out its success because you don't have to be there when it happens. You're never late to a podcast. You're never locked out. You're never joining a conversation halfway through. It's a huge part of the appeal of what podcasting is. Now that being said, live podcasting does have a place, especially for those who prioritize community building over massive reach. Going live fosters direct connection with your audience. It gives your audience a front row seat and a voice in the experience. They get to see how the sausage was made. But is it the real growth engine for your podcast? Probably not. Not yet, anyway. For most creators, it's an engagement play, not an expansion play. I think the one bonus to doing live podcasting in a world of AI slop is that you can see the person make the podcast in front of you. That's hard to fake with AI right now. AI hasn't figured that out. So doing it live is a great way to prove that you're a human being to your audience, because there's a lot of fake stuff going on in podcasting right now, and live is a great way to set yourself apart from all that other stuff that's happening. So there is an advantage there too. So Dave, are you going to do live podcasting? There's the question. Would I try it? Maybe. I haven't said no. Might seem like I'm down on live podcasting. I'm not down on it. I'm just not seeing the return on investment. For me to invest my whole time to create a regular, repeatable, expected day and time for my audience to change their whole world to show up with me on a certain day and time. Starting a live podcast from scratch is a lot of work. Nobody knows you, and nobody knows you on a regular schedule like that. So it's going to take some while and a lot of preparation, a lot of foundation time before you're going to see any kind of results for your efforts. It's nice to see a challenge of doing live. I find that people who have a short attention span as creators really struggle here. They can't even complete a sentence because somebody in the chat said something that threw them off. It took them in a new direction. And when I see that, it's frustrating because the host just feels like they're always in reaction mode. They're never really driving the conversation. They're more of a passenger. And whoever gets the attention of the host at any given time can completely change the show. That I find frustrating from a host perspective. I want to get on, do my show, interact with you. That would be fun. But I want to get the message out. I don't want to be chasing a bunch of different tangents. So I'm not that type of person. I am pretty structured, pretty organized. And I get frustrated when people seem to lose control of their show. So would I try live podcasting? Well, I am going to be working on something in February where I'm going to do 24 episodes in 24 hours, doing a whole overnight complete marathon of creating content. I'm going to throw in some live stuff there. I have zero expectation that anybody's going to show up, to be quite transparent. Because I don't do it regularly, right? It's unfair for me to expect you to change your world to be available for me. No, I don't expect that at all. So I am going to do some live here and there. I don't know how I'm going to do it or how I'm going to work it into what I'm doing. But like this year alone, I'm doing 365 episodes in a row. So that doesn't leave a lot of spare time to do a live podcast. But I'm curiously open to it. But I think we just need to be realistic about our expectations. We need to realize that the audience size is not going to explode overnight because you decided to go live. It is a great way to build relationships with your core audience, some of your main, like, super fans. They're going to be there. And you can make money doing it live too. People can donate to you live during your live taping, right? So, and you can repurpose it. Yes, you can. But remember, when we listen later, it's not the same as being there live. It's a different feel. We miss some of the cues when we're not watching or participating live. We don't get to see the chat that you keep referring to. We don't get a copy of that. We have no idea what was being said, the jokes, the back and forth. We don't see it. So there's a lot of downsides to it from a listener and a viewer perspective. But I don't think it's a terrible idea. I just don't think it's the right main focus to go forward when technology has told us there's a better option for live, and that's to have it on demand when you want it. That's the one part that I just still don't see why live podcasters haven't caught on to this. So the jury is out on this, whether or not the How to Podcast series is going to have a live component. I am curious. I do participate when I can, when I'm not working or sleeping. I do try to show up for people who do live. I want to be supportive to help them. But at the same time, I find it frustrating that people are telling me that I should be doing this. I don't know where I'm going to fit it in. So remember, podcasting has no rules. Podcasting should have no gatekeepers, even though there's a ton of gatekeepers. So you do what you can do, and don't be overwhelmed. Don't think you need to go buy a bunch of software and you got to do this and you got to do that so that you can be live. No, you don't have to buy a platform that allows for live podcasting if you have no intention to live podcast. Don't do it. Don't spend the money. Keep your money in your pocket. Podcasting doesn't need saving by live podcasting. It just needs evolving in ways that will keep flexibility and accessibility at its core. Just keep this in mind as we head out. Live podcasting isn't the future of podcasting. It's a remix of the past. Fun to try, great for superfans, but unlikely to redefine podcasting as a whole. The power of podcasting has always been its freedom to listen anytime, anywhere, without missing a thing. You don't feel like you're stepping into the conversation midstream and you have no idea what's happening. I just think that podcasting works best when we can come to it when we want to. And it serves us well, exactly the way it is. I want it to grow. I want it to expand. But at the same time, you don't need to fix what's not broken. So maybe we need to spend more time on the parts of podcasting that require attention and not the ones, don't take away the ones that are working just fine. Again, live podcasting, a lot of feathers, not much chicken. I'd love to hear your thoughts. There's probably people very angry with me right now, especially if you have a platform that makes live podcasting possible. I'd love to hear from you. Again, even though I might seem negative towards live podcasting, doesn't mean that I won't try it. Doesn't mean that I won't participate as a community member for your podcast. But I just think we need to understand that you're going to grow your core audience deeper, but I don't think you're going to bring in a ton of new people. You always will grow in the traditional way through podcasting, where people can come to your show when they have time, on the day that they choose, listen when they want, as long as they want, how they want, wherever they are. That's where podcasting has always done so well. Let's not take our eye off the ball, and let's not sacrifice what's working for something that can work, but it doesn't work for everybody. And not everybody's going to benefit from a live podcast. Correct? Right. Let's keep talking. Thanks for being here. Take care. So I get asked quite often, usually at the end of a podcast, like right now, Dave, how can we help you? Like, how can we as a listener Like support the show? Can we come rake your leaves? Can we cut the grass? Shovel the snow? Watch your dog? Help you move? What can we do? Clean your dishes? Oh, that'd be interesting. Well, if you can't do that because, you're in Poland, maybe you can help us by supporting us with our Buy Me a Coffee. It's right there on our website. And, it just will help us to, A, stay fueled because, we drink a lot of coffee around here. And it helps the show. So if you want to help us, it's out of the goodness of your heart. I can tell you that listening to the podcast to this point, you've already helped us so much. But I do have people saying, Dave, I'd love to give back something small, even just to the show. Buy Me a Coffee link is on our website at howtopodcast.ca. And you can support the show that way. It would mean a lot to have you on our team supporting what we do here. If you find value in the show, then that's great. Share the show, tell somebody about it. And when somebody says, Dave, I want to start a podcast, who should I check out? Oh, you should go check out the How to Podcast series because of all the great co-hosts and all the things that happen here, the meetups, everything. And I would appreciate that. And then fill our cup once in a while if you can. But again, thank you so much for being here and supporting the How to Podcast series. Take care. Talk soon. Okay, so you're still here? Great. All right. So this is the bonus stuff at the end of the episode that most people aren't going to hear. And I just keep it for you. So if I was to use live podcasting, what app or what platform would I use to live podcast? There's a bunch, right? StreamYard, Riverside, on and on and on. The one I don't hear anybody talking about, except my podcasting buddy, Mr. Danny Brown, DannyBrown.me would be his website. Danny's an amazing podcaster. He's here in Canada. Awesome Scottish accent. I just love his content. Danny uses Boomcaster. And Boomcaster is a great alternative to all the other ones that people always talk about. So again, all those other podcasts about podcasting, they don't mention Boomcaster, and I don't know why. They mention it in passing, like it's like, yeah, whatever, Boomcaster, whatever. But it's great. It's really good. So that's going to be the one that I'm probably going to play with first. I don't know how I'm going to implement any kind of live podcasting for this show, but that would be my first choice. So I'll put a link in the show notes. You'll understand why that link is there, but nobody else is going to understand why that link is there. So you benefit from this little moment here with you and me. The other people, they have no idea why Boomcaster link is in the show notes, but you get it. So thanks for being here, sticking around a little extra. I like having time with you, just the two of us. This is great. So anything I can do to help you, because you've been here the longest, I'd love to talk to you. Really, super. I would love to spend time with you. Virtual coffee, whatever you want to do. Let's hang out and let's talk podcasting. I love talking to people like you who are interested in podcasting. So reach out, howtopodcast.ca. Talk soon. Thanks for being here. Thanks for sticking around. Take care.